And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
Tired of that same old breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Same old tasting scrambled eggs, burger, that dinner steak, ribs, or pork chops? Why not add a little bit of spice or just a touch of heat to make the difference? Change that scrambled egg with a little bit of Johnny Fabulous's John Cena Sr.'s $1 Million Jalapeno Hot Sauce. Great on burgers, steaks, chops, and those barbecued ribs.
Do you treat your dog as part of the family? Well, so do we. So why not celebrate your pup's birthday with the ultimate party box? Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Party Pup Info, and let us make your pup's party or any celebration perfection.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monty Nefaro, seen only here out of Indie Music TV, straight out of Ronkonkoma, Long Island. So, on March 9th, 2022, the pro wrestling world lost Dan Mirade. The reason for his passing continues to be unknown presently. However, he left behind a legacy to many people and fans, and he will be missed tremendously. So, on March 9th, I received a message from a few people, and one being Tony Atlas, that Dan Mirade passed away. Everybody's well aware of the issues we had with Dan Mirade. Mm-hmm. But I could tell, and I'll let you speak to it, is that, when someone dies at such a young age, it's not a good thing. No. It's not a good thing. No. But I thought how, before we had a couple of days to think about how we were going to present this on the show, and I want to make sure that everybody's clear that I was not a fan of Dan. Mm-hmm. For some things that went on.
Absolutely. Understood.
But did I hate him? No, I didn't hate him.
No.
Did I consider him a friend? Absolutely not. But one thing I do recognize is that there were a lot of fans out there and people who had a tough go the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And Dan supplied programming to people and help to people in need, right? A lot of people were stuck at home. And, he helped a lot of people. So who am I to say anything beyond that is, I only knew him for what I knew him for. Right. That doesn't mean I knew him.
Right.
So sure, he could have been a good guy.
Sure. And to some, of course, he was. I was actually pretty shocked. I mean, and it's weird too, because some people were asking me, "Is this real or is this a work? Do you believe this business? That would even come up?" But I was actually asked that, and I was like, "I'm sorry, but that's a little bit beyond the realms of is this a work?" But I mean, I understood because of the crazy wrestling business that you always wonder, is anything a work or a shoot? I felt at the time shocked. Again, I agree with you. I didn't know him. Oddly enough, the first I was aware of him was just when I heard he was throwing F-bombs at us. And that got me very angry, as it should. I'm like, who's this guy? But look, at the end of the day, 42 is way too young. He had family. Yep. He had friends who loved him. And to a lot of people, he was very entertaining and they enjoyed him. Rest in peace. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. And that's basically it. I mean, I was not a fan of the channel, but that doesn't really matter, at this given moment, one way or the other, we all loved wrestling, so there is something in common at the end of the day. And I just hope his family does well and can get through it. And way too young. That's my take.
And again, you could see.
Way too young.
I tuned into one of the shows after his passing, and you could see many fans were distraught over the situation. You know, in many cases, he was family to a lot of people.
Sure.
And
I mean, just like we have our family, he had his. He had his rest of the family.
I'll read some comments, but I did want to share something.
Sure, he worked hard to get that family.
I think it's important that now that I tell the story a little bit.
Man.
Tony
So bizarre.
and Dan had issues. We don't have to get into that whole situation.
Yeah, everybody kind of knows.
But I will tell you that Tony shared with me many times, and I think this is important for everybody to know because this is why life is too short, right? Mm-hmm. Dan was reaching out to Tony quite often,
Right,
and trying to reconcile
right,
the situation.
right.
I think at some points maybe Dan realized that he was out of line with what went on in certain situations, and maybe tried to reconcile.
Sure.
But if this isn't a message to everybody out there, it's like life's too short, right? It's life's too short for hatred.
Way too short. Way too short.
You know, there's joking, and we're all about having fun.
Of course.
But, you know, it's just...
Which is honestly what I felt we were doing when we were going back and forth with him. And I
think part of him...
I think he enjoyed it too.
Absolutely.
Quite honestly.
Absolutely.
You know,
and I think the fans enjoyed it
yeah,
also,
we were all having a ball, tossing, turnbuckles at each other. But, I mean...
But, you know, I'm going to read a few comments. Davio
boy.
says, Monty and Farrow, I just want to say it was honorable of you guys giving a 10-bell salute to Dan. Joker says, Dan was passionate to the core about wrestling. Mm-hmm. His death leaves a massive void in the community, and he'll be deeply missed. So that's something we should recognize.
He's identified with Boston.
Well,
I mean, you know, he was obviously a fixture over in that area, obviously.
We should recognize the fact that, and I'll say this, he was a major player in the world of pro wrestling.
Yeah,
you know,
in the YouTube universe, I agree with that.
I would even go further past maybe the YouTube.
Well, the
universe.
MWF, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
sure, he did some things, and hey, he wasn't just out there, you know, thinking about doing them. He went and tried to do them. You know, I give him a lot of credit for that.
Charles Wilson says, I was privy to some conversations about sunglasses at night.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
Eric says, amen, gentlemen, super classy. Luce says, Dan loved pro wrestling and that we all can respect. I feel sorry for his family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got goosebumps, man. I'm not, they shouldn't have even happened. I'm still like, how? Have they cleared up how he passed away, or is this still somewhat in the air? Because the first thing I read was he died in a car crash. Now, we know he was in a car crash years ago with the Sheik. Then the next day I saw that he passed away in the shower. And I was like, does anybody really know the definitive reason? I mean, have you found anything out at this point, or is it still up in the air as far as what happened to him?
From what I read, he was at his father's house and he passed away in the shower. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not gonna try to guess what happened.
Right.
Charles Wilson says Dan had a channel of 25,000 subscribers, and it lasted well over 10 years.
There you go.
He spent a lot of time and effort into his channel.
Sure.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
And you know what?
No doubt.
You know, I think about Dan, and I think, you know, this is what his life was. Again, I didn't know the guy, but from what I understand, and I call him Dan respectfully instead of Mirade.
Yeah, right. Gotcha.
I think that he had his injury in his car accident, and this
Apparently
channel
it was pretty bad.
and his fans were all he had.
Right.
And I think he became very, very protective.
Who wouldn't be? Right?
Right.
I mean, who wouldn't be? We've worked very hard in the last 5 years to do what we're doing. I can relate.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna reiterate, though. I want to bring it to a point.
Sure.
Is I spoke to Dan one time.
I remember.
Right. One time.
I remember.
And
he didn't know I was there, but
I could just say that
I kind of walked in on it, but yeah.
I did. I want to, you know, again, I don't want to come on here. It's very hard to sit here and bust on each other for a year. Mm-hmm. And then because someone passes, and then say, "Hey, I love this guy." Oh, it was a joke.
Yeah,
we didn't like each other.
We got to stay real here.
We didn't like each other, and that's okay. That's
you're just being truthful. That's all. You're being real.
That's okay.
You know.
But I will tell you, I know you were.
Yeah.
You were very saddened over this.
I was pretty jolted, especially when I found out he was 42, because not for nothing, I thought he was our age. Maybe
Right.
because it was the facial hair or whatever. There was something about him that I figured he's our age. But he's 42. Sorry, folks, but to these two old guys, that's almost a baby at this point.
Yeah, that's for sure. Al Snow wrote
Way too young.
Al Snow wrote on YouTube. I heard the sad news and the loss of my friend Dan Mirade. You will truly be missed. You are one of a kind. I will always be in your debt for introducing me to Quincy. My sincerest, heartfelt condolences to all of Dan's families and friends.
May you truly rest in peace.
Another gentleman
Very
wrote,
classy, Mr. Snow.
very sad in the learning the passing of Dan Mirade Fragilio.
I cannot pronounce it.
Well,
I'm
I
not
will
gonna
tell you
even
this,
try to
though.
pronounce that
That
last name.
shocked me.
Fragillo?
I had no
Maybe?
idea that Mirade was a pseudo name.
What am I going to say? I'm the Pharaoh.
I know,
Hey,
but
what am I going to say?
Right,
But
right.
that's cool. I mean, Dan Mirade sounds like rolls off the tongue better than I can't even Frangillo. I'm assuming.
Maria Davis shared this with me. The first thing when I heard about Dan passing, the first guy that came to my mind was John Cena Sr.
Okay,
And
that makes sense.
Maria Davis was kind enough to send this to me, and I'll just read
wow.
John's writings.
Quite the letter.
And again, if everybody's heard this before, I just think it's important, right? We recognize the passing of, a big-time figure in pro wrestling, right? This is a hard one for me. I got a call this morning that Dan Mirade passed away. He was more than just a friend to me. He was like another brother. For over 15 years, we've been working together on Boston Wrestling, MWF. He brought me on board back in 2007, and ever since then, we've been working together. I've gained so much knowledge about the sport of professional wrestling from him, and just so much more. We did everything wrestling together and more. This one just hurts. He created a name that would stick with me forever, and how everyone knew me as Little Cena. He never called me by my actual name, not once. He was a great guy to anyone that truly knew him, and he would do anything for anyone. He worked day and night to bring the best content available for all the fans of Boston wrestling. He will be missed. I miss you, buddy. I'll see you on the other side. Little Senior.
We've talked about it in the past, Mike, that, as far as attaining success, and I've always loved that you've said this to me, if we even make one person smile, we've done our job. Well done, Dan Mirade. You definitely did your job. That's facts.
Well done, Farrell.
Yeah.
Well said.
Rest in peace.
The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty the Pharaoh, seen here on Out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. So I'm going to start reading what you guys got to say, one at a time. Maria Davis, yes, Dan and I had our differences, but when someone passes away, it leaves an impact. Rip Dan Mirade. Fester Hoghead, I saw the Iron Sheik first on Dan Mirade's MWF before I even knew who he was. Thank you, Mirade. B40, I'm sorry for trolling Dan during the height of the Thursday Night Wars. Jason Moaning, Dan seemed good-hearted and meant well. Phil Desiree.
Desiree. I just love to say
Thank
his
you,
last
Dan.
name.
Just as you did for me on Earth, I hope you leave a light on for me where you are now.
That's cool.
Davio, Dan had a family and friends. My God, grant them peace during this difficult time.
Amen.
Rick Howard, Dan reunited Demolition. That was huge.
Wow. Nice. Okay.
ESO. If it wasn't for Dan feuding with Tony Atlas, I would never have found Monty and the Pharaoh.
Oh, there you go.
Rick B. I had fun and met a lot of great folks in the chats and Boston Wrestling videos. Can you guys bring Cena Senior on and ask him how he can continue the channel?
Okay.
I think so, Rick. I
Yeah.
can reach out to him.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of state of mind he's in right now. It's probably not the time, but
Right.
I certainly can do that with no problem at all.
Cool.
Anything for you, brother. James Splawn. Oh, my God. I can't believe he passed.
Yeah.
Loose Cannon. Dan, I respect your passion for wrestling and happy you did what you loved. Peace, brother. Jacus. Dan Mirade did more for some of the longtime veteran wrestlers than some of the companies they previously worked for. He was all about keeping the guys who paved the way working. He adored wrestling. So I'll address this. Julian Arness.
Oh, my favorite.
Why couldn't God have taken the Pharaoh? So
Wow.
there's times for funny jokes
Wow.
and stuff like that, Julian. But you want to talk about disrespecting the memory of Dan Mirade? There you go. That's exactly the point. You were the big defender of him, but when the time of need, when the guy passes away, it's nothing like disrespecting him. So congratulations, Julian. You did a great job. Jamie Splawn. I liked him, and he had a lot of knowledge. Griswold. Rip Dan. I give you credit. He knew the classic wrestling events, dates, and the pay-per-view of the WWF down to the T. Could name the whole card right off the rip. Phil says, not a good joke. No, Phil, it's not a good joke.
Something tells me I probably beat that Arness guy up back in 6th grade or something, and he's still mad. You know?
It just, whatever, man.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
All right, waiting for more comments, guys. Farrah, you want to keep this going while we get some?
Just, the fans are fantastic. Everybody is showing their true colors, and,
Luce says 1 bonehead out of 50 ain't bad.
that's true. That's true. Thank you. Thank you for that.
AAA, we do not wish death on anyone. Yes, lousy comment. I agree.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Because, there's a time and a place for everything, but apparently school's in session over there. So,
Jackus says, don't wish death on anyone.
Yeah.
Rotten thing to say, Julian.
yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Here we go. 802. Most of the people I talked to in the chat and Boston Wrestling chat, Dan and I had our words. He was never rude, and I was rude. I'm sure, so no bad words, Dan. Thanks everything you did for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Rick, is Tony Atlas okay? Rick, I talked to Tony when Dan passed. Very hard to gauge how Tony was feeling.
Right.
I could tell you, between us both, that it shook us up a little bit.
Yeah.
We didn't. Again, I thought about.
I mean, to
he
be
had
very
kids,
honest, right now,
From what I
I'm
understand,
still blown away by that incredibly stupid comment. I didn't think anybody could be that dumb, during a moment like this to just be that clueless. But I've always been impressed with that particular person's idiocy. It's just anyway.
Kurt Fox. I learned so much from Dan and Tony. I watched every episode. They came here, love and light. PJ, hey man, how are you? I didn't know Dan, but he was a big part of wrestling. It will be a big loss.
Yeah.
802, long live the Pharaoh. Yard
you.
Ape in the house.
Thank you, 802. What's up, Yard Ape?
Julian Arness. Either way, let's be real. Why does everything change when someone dies? When he was alive, most were here criticized Dan. None stop. I supported Dan. So can I answer that one?
What?
I'll answer that.
You're a hero now because you're trying to make up
no,
for your
I'll answer
stupid
it.
comment?
No.
You're an idiot. Bro.
I'll answer that.
I mean, come on.
So again, if we were to come on the show
guy.
and turn around and say,
Well, you want us to blast him?
no, but no.
I mean, what is wrong with
that's
this
not that's
idiot?
not that's not the point. The point is this: is that whatever arguments we had, we both felt we felt one way, he felt another.
Right.
Everybody knows in life there's no black and white, there's like lots of gray.
Yeah.
And in life, people choose sides.
Right.
So, Julian, the people that were on this show were choosing the Monty and the Pharaoh side. And the people that went to Boston Wrestling chose the Boston side.
Yeah.
And some people just enjoy
Like
the
both.
back and forth.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter, things do change because you're heartless if you don't feel for a man's family. You don't
Whoa.
feel for a man who all he wanted to do was entertain people and to pass away at such a young age. So things do change when people pass away. Doesn't mean that I personally liked him. I didn't know him.
Right.
I know him from his dealings with people that I was dealing with. But things do change, man, because guess what? You can still dislike someone and feel bad that something happened to him. Right? There's levels.
I can even say after his comment wishing death on me that I'm impressed with his, the fact that he just loves to hate the Pharaoh. That's fine. I respect that. And if God forbid anything happened to Julian on this, I would feel bad.
And again,
does that make me a phony? No. It means I don't like when you talk shit about me, but if God forbid anything happened to you, I wouldn't be pleased, my friend.
Griswold asked...
So come on, bro. Get a grip.
Have you guys heard from Marty J? Griswold, I spoke about it earlier. Marty called me the day after Dan passed. He wanted to know what happened. I didn't really know what happened. I just told him what I had heard. Marty was still in the hospital. He sounded
sounds
fantastic.
Great. That's very encouraging.
Fantastic.
Very encouraging.
So we're out of time. I appreciate you guys with your comments.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Our prayers go out to the Mirade family.
For sure.
Our prayers go out to the friends of Dan Mirade.
For sure.
And the fans of Dan Mirade.
For sure. Yeah.
And I'll leave it with this and then send us out. Yard Ape says something good. Says,
We good.
Dan loved to bury sunglasses at night.
Yeah, and we had a ball with sunglasses at night.
Absolutely.
I mean, he gave us awesome artillery. I mean, everything he would say, we would find a way to make it work, So
Rick says,
it was all in good
classy
jousting.
show.
Thank you. Thanks, Rick.
Send us out, Pharaoh. And we want to thank you guys for joining us. And again, keep the Mirade family in your prayers, and we'll see you next Thursday. Go ahead, Pharaoh.
You've been watching Monty and the Pharaoh, and thank you guys all for sharing this hour with us. Rest in peace, Dan Mirade. You brought way more good to this game than bad, obviously. And you too, Julian. Hey, maybe someday we'll be friends. Who the heck knows? Life is too short. Later.